Hello and welcome to Channel Sport on Sunday. We were not here last week because the nation was picking the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So we just have to allow the democratic process to go through and sport, because we know that whoever becomes the president of Nigeria, and all other elected representatives, they will know that, yes, this time around, our sport will be in the front burner. We are going to ask that, yes, give us a separate Ministry of Sport, not the Ministry of Youth and Sport. We said this because we've talked about that particular budget, that in the budget of Nigeria Youth and Sport Ministry, that it is, how do I say it? I don't know. Have you guys watched Twins before? Have you watched the movie Twins? You know, we are not cohabiting. I mean, it is just in equilibrium. There is no way the NYS will take over 90% of the budget, and while other things and sport is left less than 7%. So if we continue that way, there is no way sport is going to develop in this country. So as the new administration will be coming in to take over the helm of affairs, what we ask for is give us our due, give sport a ministry, so that, yes, we can go over there, we can get the development, we can get the funding, we can go for tournament, we can, you know, train the kids, get the facilities that are available. 7% of the fund to the ministry is not enough. I'm not about giving enough. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. I mean, it is just like giving a budget of a parastatal, not the budget of a ministry. So we need a ministry of sport. Without joining with culture, without joining with youth. They can have the youth and culture in a separate, but please give us Ministry of Sport. We are asking for that. They said in Nigeria, with our open chest. That is what we need. The NPFL is on break actually, but at least the teams that have those outstanding matches have done that. So by the 25th of March, when they resume, everybody will be at par. And then so. We'll talk a little bit of NPFL. The last time we spoke about the NPFL. We spoke with the IMC chairman himself. But this time around, we'll try today also to look at the intricacies of how the new NPFL is unfolding. Those who are driving it, what they are doing, and what we stand to benefit, in the new dispensation. Our under 20 team, the Flying Eagles, they started badly, but after that loss to Senegal, they picked up won all our matches and they've qualified for Indonesia. So Nigeria will be at the World Cup. Let's see if we get over there. For us here, like we normally say, it is a developmental project at under 17, under 20. How they move on is what we expect to see. When they get to that particular place, they should be able to beef off. When they get to that particular place, they should be able to join the team, be part of the Nigerian team that will win the World Cup for us. That is our target. That is where we are going, and there is no doubt that we just have to achieve that. So that is for the under 20. We shall look at it in depth, look at the parents, and look at what the scenario is looking at. And Europe is burning. Napoli with Napoli was on cruise until they met Lazio, and Lazio said, went there to the stadium, the Maradona Stadium, and then collected all 3 points. Sometimes it's not the number of goals; it's about the number of points. And they nicked it. They nicked it out of the hand of Napoli. But I think they are still comfortable. In England, the Gunners said, "Look, this is our season. How else do you do that?" Because when you expected, when you said they are down, they came up and at the nick of it. At the nick of it, somebody said, "Where does that extra 2 minutes come from?" I don't care. The extra, the goals would have gone either way, but then they did well, and then they got it sorted out, and so they remain on top. But then City is pursuing. But today it will be the derby of England. It is the derby of the farm. It used to be the derby of England, but right now I don't think. If we were talking about in '92, '93, probably in a few years down the line, it was the derby of England. Manchester United, Liverpool, or Liverpool, Man United used to shake the art, but this time around, it is teams that are struggling to either qualify for Europa or qualify for the Champions League. Of course, United has got a momentum, but that momentum, when you think about it, different deficit point between United and and Arsenal, they united at yes. But it is still possible, they say. Let's see how that one is going to pan out. I will talk about one of the greats who just left the world, who departed to the land beyond, just Fontaine, and then the magic he did, and how incredible what he did in 1958. That still stands till this day. Even the goats don't compare when it comes to this particular unheralded goat. Formula One is back. Jimmy used to say, it's another V, Formula V. But this V is not Vettel. This V is Verstappen. This V is starting from where this V ended. And that is what we are saying. And now the Dubai are duty-free. I like the name of the tournament. I like the name of the tournament, Dubai Duty-Free. They're telling you something is there, that you don't pay duty when you when you bring your goods into Dubai or Ed. We used to have the Tinapa, we used to have, I think, the Lekki Free Zone and Free Trade Zone and stuff like that. So when we will be sponsoring international tournament and put us in the world map, it's going to be a bumper package today, because we don't know if next week we'll be here to be the governorship and House of Assembly elections. It is the time, politics, every time, the time and season takes its place. But today, as we are here, we're going to engage you guys. We'll open the lines. You join us at the Gunners for real. How is Napoli going to nick it, and then will Osimhen ascend as the best player in Africa at the moment? I don't know, there are other African players who are doing as much as doing, topping the league and topping the scorers chart over, right there in Italy. So these are the things we're looking at, and much more. No, we tell you, when we start Channel Sport on Sunday, when we open the lines, you are free to discuss anything sports. We do not buy you from any other thing. But let's start. Let me welcome my guys. They are in the house. Yemi.
Good afternoon, Ken. Good afternoon, Vias. Good afternoon, Jimmy. Good to be on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes, last week we were not here due to the presidential election. Good to at least now the tension gradually simmering. All those prediction of woes. Oh, Nigeria will burn. This will happen. We thank God that everything has gone on smoothly. Back to the NPFL. Yes, they're on break. We are happy it's an abridged league. At least we're happy that something is happening. They've gone on break. And if you look at the first half that just ended, the surprise element, they've been your boys. That's talking about Bendel Insurance.
Bendel Insurance.
For a team to come from the
lower league.
From the lower rung of the league, and now doing wonders. Not just that the team is doing well. You have outstanding players in that particular team, the Imade Disarke of this world, whose partnership has produced a lot of goals that are actually taking Bendel Insurance to where they are today. I recall that match in Ibadan. They were 2 goals up. Shooting Stars actually forced a draw.
Yeah. So and your mind was you were thinking what we do to
you. we give it to them. And again, their goalkeeper has been in outstanding form this season. So let's see what happens when the second stanza begins. And for teams that didn't do well in the first stanza, the second stanza presents a good opportunity for them to look inward and actually see how they can salvage their season. Team like Kwara United, who again have just moved their own ground from Ibadan, having just won 1 out of 4 to Akure Township Stadium. And again, they've unveiled their new coach, Kabiru Dogo, and don't forget that he once managed Sunshine Star. So Akure is like home to him. So let's see what they'll be able to do from them.
Akure is like home to Kwara United.
Well, I think
was it away? They were playing away from away or home from.
I mean, when you consider the fact that there had always been this fierce rivalry between themselves and 3SC, I don't think it was, a very good hunting ground for them. I think that Akure is
between Kwara United and 3SC.
If you look at it, 3SC, Kwara United, and also Sunshine Stars, I mean, I think Akure is a lot more better for them. And I also feel that, Kabiru Dogo, like he rightly said, having coached Wiki Tourist, Nasara United, Sunshine Stars, he's got the experience, the requisite experience to take them out of where they are right now. They're not doing well. I mean, Owolafe is going to probably call him now. And the first thing mean, you probably want to jibe him about Kwara United and not Chelsea at this point in time. But I mean, it's all good. I think Kabiru Dogo, he has the experience. He's a veteran. He should do well.
And he's an own boy.
He's an own boy.
He's from that state.
Exactly.
It's the dream of every coach
to go back home, go coach and all that. So I mean, it looks good for him at this point in time.
Okay. Let's see what Kwara United is going to do right there in Akure. If they are going to do well with when you play 4 home matches in Nigerian League and you win only 1, then that smells trouble. And the second stanza is a survival stanza because just nine games. I think okay they played 4 home, so they will play 5 home this time around. And then let's say if those 5 homes in Akure favors them, probably they'll be in a good state.
Exactly.
You know, to get it done. You know, so that is the thing. I will say talk a lot of NPFL today. So you guys just calm down and stay with us. Let's go to the under 20. Senegal, Nigeria, Gambia, and Tunisia.
Qualify for the World Cup?
Yeah. Is it a West African thing at this level? We dominate at this level. Under 17, under 20.
We do. And I think when you consider the fact that the Nigerian team, they did not really look good. I mean, when you consider how well you would have thought they would play, considering the total number of games they actually did play, all the preparations that they had, they were decimating teams aplenty. But getting into the competition, I mean, you would have been surprised that, you know, they were not able to string passes together. They were not doing as well as you would have thought they would do. I think at this point, we should just be happy they're going to Indonesia, which is about the most important thing at this point in time. But they've got to improve that team. We know that Amboso has been around and about that team, but there's absolutely no philosophy.
That team. That was not, I mean, before they went to tournament, I mean, the qualifiers, this is not the team that played in the qualifier. They run a lot of changes.
Exactly. But when you consider also, they had, you know, the likes of Daga, Agbalaka in that team. They had quite a number of the same set of players that were used. Maybe a few changes. You know, a lot of these foreign-based were dropped eventually.
About 5 or 6 foreign-based players were added to that team.
Yes, but at the end of the day, we are now talking of the quality that they exuded when it comes to competitive games. Because when they were preparing, they were beating teams 7-0, 6-0. They get to the competition, they are not able to show the cohesion.
It is just 1-1, 1-1.
1-1. They struggle.
This under-20 team.
Yes.
And it's not just Nigeria. There had been a report from the Egyptian and the coach.
That the Senegalese and Nigerians, you guys fielded over 8 players.
But again, those are anecdotal. You can't. It's not been proven yet. But
it's not been proven yet.
Yes, you know, you say it's only the father and the mother that knows the actual age of the.
Exactly. But
we know the truth.
Ken, you know that. Don't say you know the truth. Ken, you only think you know the truth.
Okay, I believe I know the truth.
You only know your father is your mother because your mother. You only know your father is your father because your mother said so.
Yes.
It is what it is.
But even we've seen them when your father
So now, then again, looking at the team, with the amount of time they've had to prepare for this competition, I think they've been abysmal. The performance has been nothing to write home about. Yes, we can celebrate for all that we like that. Yes, this team is making it to the World Cup. But if we go to the World Cup with this particular team, if something is not done, we'll get embarrassed.
Well, I do not agree, because I actually feel that this is the kind of test they needed. They've seen the good times, they're seeing the rough times. It helps them blend and get better, because you just have to be very optimistic. They are all what we have now.
That's why you're saying, if we go with this team,
and that's what I'm saying.
Where exactly are you going to start getting boys from? I mean, it's better you work on these players that have played together with themselves. Now, what it means is they have struggled. They are struggling.
to string passes together, to create opportunities.
At Jimmy, this point in time, are you saying this team cannot use one or two other players?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I would think that the majority of these players,
you can keep the ball.
Definitely. But they need to be exactly.
Really, something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. We can't keep on going like this. Yes, we are being accused of fielding.
If they actually did struggle and you could see the quality of players being good enough, then maybe you would not complain. But you see them struggle and it looks like they are not able to do basics.
And that's where the issues are. Just like you said, stringing passes together, those are cohesion.
When they was using wholly home-based players, there was more understanding, more cohesion, some telepathic
playing against which teams.
At what time did we start relying on foreign-based players for 8th grade competition?
For 8th grade. No, it's happening more. It's happening more these days.
Within the age
I'm not disputing the fact that if they are within the age limit,
yes,
let's
give every Nigerian opportunity.
Absolutely, but they need to prove that they are better than those ones at home. Not for the fact that you are playing somewhere in Malta. That mentality needs to change.
Surely today is playing for Manchester United, so it should be better than playing Sunshine Stars.
It may actually be able to play better over there, but playing African football. Although when you look at it, they'll be playing.
Is there African football and European football?
There is.
When you beat somebody is different.
There is.
The physicality of the game.
Especially when you are playing
against you are meeting. So why is it Ken? Why is it
Argentina versus Portugal? Then you talk about the physicality of the game, they will not be in the Did you watch the 66 World Cup?
When you are preparing for a particular tournament, why do you choose a team with a similar playing pattern? These ingredients are actually very important.
Because
you can't discountenance the dynamics.
No, but when we look at it, we look at the African team, and so looking fine. But when you say African team, the South Africans don't play as East Africans. The North Africans don't play like the West Africans. A lot of the North Africans play more like European football and stuff like that. So you are preparing against Egypt. And look at how we were just mauling them anyhow. And then the Gambia in the past 10, 12 years has been a force to be reckoned with at youth
level.
Absolutely,
exactly.
At youth level.
The youth football program is really paying them off now. The dividends are
definitely
come true.
So we are playing against them. So that is it for now. At the under 20, like I said, 4 teams representing Africa. Right there, Nigeria, your Nigeria, our Nigeria will be there in the courts of the Flying Eagles. They did beat Uganda. Some years back, a few tournaments ago, we beat Uganda 8-0. Well, this one, of course, the long goal has to come, and it was so Nigeria will be there.
Just enough.
Nigeria will be there. Tunisia will be there, and then our 2 other West African brothers.
Ken, we lost the first game. It's got to be said.
It is got. In fact, I remember
we lost the first game. It's got to be said.
Yeah, so to Senegal.
We have quite a number of people that will tell you, okay, it may just be Argentina all over again, where Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia, and maybe just Nigeria will win this also.
It started with Spain in 2010 at the World Cup in 2010.
Exactly.
Of course, Spain lost their first match, and everybody was crucifying the coach. I remember the former coach then was talking about, and when they were trying to criticize, the coach said, look, this guy was the coach who won the World Cup with them, who won the European Championship with them. He has a right to criticize my team, and they went on from there and beating the Dutch in the final. So it has become a precedent that has been put in there. So I think that is it. We're trying to see if we can make some connections and talk more on the NPFL. But while we are still waiting to do that, let's just briefly let us go to Europe. Arsenal 3-2 Bournemouth.
Jimmy, we love to talk about it.
You want me to gloat? Thank you. Thank you for gloating, because at this point in time, it's hard to look past Arsenal. Devastating form. You say they struggled initially, but at the end of the day, the 3-2 line, that's
Arsenal 3-2 against Bournemouth, insane comeback, Jimmy.
Yeah, definitely.
You would say, having
definitely.
gone
That's why I'm trying to be careful not to go so much.
No, 97 minutes.
Ken, you have started. You have started.
97 minutes. Maybe more money goes
Ken,
you spent 6 minutes at a time.
The sense of urgency was there. These boys were determined. They've been playing lovely football, exhilarating football. Okay, I think we got...
Okay. We'll talk about that later, but like we said, our focus has always been on the NPFL, and then talking the NPFL today, we have a guest joining us right here in Lagos here. He's the project manager of the Nigerian Football Fund, Nelson Ine. And then Nelson, how are you? You're welcome to the show. Hello, Nelson. We are seeing you. I think you've not, I don't think you are hearing us, but we are seeing you. Are you seeing us? It's, okay. Oh, we'll still try to, connect.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Hello. Okay, fine. How are you?
We're fine. We're fine. How are you doing, Nelson?
Fine, thank you.
All right. We say we have been talking at the NPFL, so I would say we need some clarifications. We need a lot of things that we want to hear from you. You guys, the GTI, it had a lot of GTI, and then what, you guys are not the IMC, so you are not managing, you are not the one running the league. And then you guys said what they said you pay. The IMC chairman was here 2 weeks back, and he said we pay the referees as at when due. We gave each club 10 million, 200 million. You guys gave the money came courtesy of GTI, and you are not the sponsors. You are not the sponsors, and you are the manager. Nelson, who are you? Who are you guys?
Once again, Ken, how are you? And good afternoon, viewers out there. Actually, GTI is a strategic partner of the Nigerian Professional Football League. That's the NPL now. And what we are doing is working with them to ensure that we position the Nigerian Premier League and ensure that the league gets the necessary sponsorship, the right TV package for the league. And basically what we are looking at is developing the league as a commercial venture.
So Nelson, you told us here now a few minutes ago that how you want to fund the league. I don't want to say this is a wondrous task. We've been following this league in the past decade or so, and then we've not been able, to meet our financial obligations. Financial indemnities to referees, to match commissioners, to the clubs that have been winning trophies. They just give them the trophy. They give, after that one, the paper goes with it, and nothing is backed it up. The league has challenges, of how to bring back the fans there, how to make this safety. In all this, how are you going to package? What gave you the mindset that you're able to convince Nigerians, to put their money, to put their funds in Nigerian football, to have that belief once again? How do you guys intend doing this? But that belief, where does that belief come from?
Yes, Ken. Actually, the belief comes from the potential of what the league can deliver. If you look at the various factors, if you look at other leagues all over the world, there are certain factors that drive every league all over the world. Like we always tell people, there are certain sports economics dynamics that drive professional leagues all over the world. What you look at is what are the issues, the basic elements in this environment that can make that league commercially viable. Nigeria has all the elements. The Nigerian league has all the elements to make it commercially viable. The Nigerian league, the environment has the talent. They have the population, which is the market. They have the passion to drive the market. They have the strong demand to consume sporting activities. And they also have the environment to support that kind of expectations. So that is why we strongly believe that the first thing is how to position this league in such a way to build trust and confidence in the critical stakeholders that are supposed to support this league commercially. Once that confidence is restored, then the league will definitely be fully revived commercially. The big problem of the league in the past, where we talk about lack of funds, is because of lack of trust and confidence in the system. The Nigerian brands would be very much happy to be associated with the league once they believe that the proper structures are in place, there's corporate governance structures, there's transparency in the old system, there's accountability in the system, and then there's prospect for growth. Once all these factors are fully established, definitely the league will start growing. Even the EPL we watch today, like we always try to emphasize, some 31 years ago, the league was restructured. The EPL was restructured and repositioned like what we are trying to do with the Nigerian league today. That was in 1992. We all can see the progress that league has made over the years. You can recall your mind back 30 years ago, how the league was, and now how the league is. The league has grown in every aspect of the parameters of evaluation, in terms of revenue, in terms of the delivery, in terms of quality of broadcast, in terms of the number of matches that are viewed, live matches that you have, and also in terms of quality of broadcast, in terms of the quality of facilities you see around. It cannot be compared to where the league was about 30 years ago, and which has attracted the best players all over the world to the league. So you find out today you have what you call a competitive balance in the league. You have quality players in the league. So the league is doing very well, and that is why the league is in high demand. We need to put all these structures in place in the Nigerian league. And that is the kind of partnership we are trying to work out with the Nigerian Premier League now. Like you mentioned earlier, that the first thing, we put a system in place where referees are guaranteed of their indemnities every week, week in, week out. So their logistics and everything has been taken care of. So you can see the impact, the quick, immediate impact in the outcome of the matches in the league. The confidence of the referees have been restored, and they have high expectations. So to whom much is given, much is expected. Likewise, we are also trying to ensure that we get all the matches broadcasted live, not all, but some and most of them. And we're also looking at certain aspects of the league that needs to be improved upon. So it is not a one-off thing. It's not an 100 meters dash. It's a marathon. And we believe that once we are able to follow the process through, the league will definitely attain its true value.
Moreover, okay, okay, all right, go on. Just let's, okay, go on. Let's hear that.
Yes. One of the things we have done, we've actually studied this league and look at some of the problems in the past. And one of the things we have done is to bring some high level of transparency and accountability into the whole system. As I speak today, the league, under the arrangement of the Nigerian Football Fund, is being regulated. The funding is protected and regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, meaning that it is definite that monies that will be invested in this league will actually be used for what they are meant for. And we've also designed a template to guarantee that and ensure that all these monies are properly utilized and properly accounted for to grow the league.
Where is the money coming from? You give 200 million to the league, and then the referees are being paid. Are you borrowing this fund, or how? What is the source of the funding for now that you are using in funding the league?
The money is coming from the investors, Nigerian investors. Mind you, it is the Nigerian fund, the Nigerian Football Fund, that is funding the league. The Nigerian Football Fund is attracting funding from the Nigerian investors. So it is even expected that everyone at the studio there is supposed to invest in this fund. But like I'll mention quickly, the funding is not donation. The funding is actually an investment, because the league itself is seen as a sport property, a tradable sports property that has high potential to generate lots of revenues. And that is a fact.
Okay, that is a fact. investors putting their money there, and you are saying, okay, from this you are the strategic partners, and they will have a return on their own investment. But let me now put this to you. You've talked about how you have the confidence on the part of the referees because their remunerations are being paid. But then, how do you intend to generate 5 billion? You're having a target of 5 billion. Where do you think that 5 billion is going to come from?
The 5 billion is going to come from Nigerian investors. And as I tell you, they've already started investing. For people that have followed the development of sports properties, especially leagues all over the world, they know that these properties, once they are properly structured and managed, their revenue grows in exponential rate. In fact, it does not grow arithmetically. It grows geometrically. And you can go and make your findings to confirm. I just spoke about the EPL earlier on. If you look at the Indian Premier League, which is a cricket league, you can see the growth in that league as we speak today. What was the Indian Premier League in 2004, 2005, up till 2008 when it was restructured? And what is it today? That is a league that was restructured just in 2008. And 15 years after, from zero level, it signed $6.2 billion today as we speak in terms of media rights. Because India has the population, they have the market. Cricket is their own comparative advantage sport. They have the passion for it, they have the market. And what did they do? They put the technology, put the structures and everything in place. And today the league is doing very well. If you look at the NBA in America too, the same thing. If you look at the NFL, all the leagues all over the world, they are revenue generating sports assets. It is only when they are badly managed and the investors and the critical stakeholders lose confidence in them that you start experiencing the kind of problem our league is experiencing today. There is no well-managed league in the world that is running at a loss. Quote me and go and make your findings. There is no league in the world, sports league in the world, that is well-managed, that is running at a loss. None.
I think I like that. No league in the world that that is running at a loss. So you're already envisaging profitability, looking at a growth trajectory. Let me ask you this: in doing all this, what are the expectations from the respective clubs that are in the league? What do you expect from them?
Well, in terms of the club license requirements from the INC, which is currently managing the league, they have certain obligations and responsibilities on their part, which many of them are striving to meet up with. If you also look at some of the clubs today, they are not playing at their own grounds today because they've not been able to meet up with those minimum requirements. For us, these are minimum requirements now. As the years goes by, all these requirements are going to be upscaled in line with the expectations of where we intend to take the league to. So if you look at the club, currently now, they are trying to meet up. But another expectation on our part from the club is, these clubs too also have high potentials to generate revenues significantly. And we are going to be working with the clubs in that area to ensure that they get the funds to the stadium, they generate more revenue, much more revenue than what they are generating now. And they are able to properly commercialize all the properties they have to ensure that they operate at optimal level. So it's going to be a very holistic approach we are taking. We are going to be working with the league. We're also going to be working with the clubs too. But we've just taken up with the league now, and over time, in a very short while, we also start working with the clubs too, because we see the whole thing as a system, and all these parts I've just mentioned are just elements. These are just components of the system, and they all have to work in harmony to enable us achieve the overall objective of this project.
Okay, you are generating funds on behalf of the clubs, and the league, and which the clubs are part of. How do the clubs benefit from this? Is it going to be a handout, or is it going to be a kind of a shareholder thing, a percent? Look, whatever comes out, this is what goes directly to this, is what you are giving to the club, not as a handout, but as what is their right.
let me also say this. You see, the clubs are the critical stakeholders in any league. They don't get it as handouts, they get it as a right because they contribute to the development of this property we are talking about today. I also want to mention that we have a template we are working with where every critical stakeholder in this league knows their expectations. So the expectations are not about handouts. The expectations are clearly defined in the current arrangement we have. And the clubs, I must tell you, in this arrangement are the highest benefactors in the template we are running with them.
Okay. You may have any question for Nelson?
Yes, Nelson. In a frontier market like Nigeria, one of the major issues investors typically have is the issue of policy somersault. What have you done to protect yourself, this organization, against any change in government, probably, you know, the tenure of NFF, tenure of the IMC itself. Okay. What have you done to protect yourself so that if another board comes in, they are not going to throw away all this? That's number one. Number two, with respect to the fund itself, yes, laudable job that you guys have done. At least we've seen the impact of paying referees indemnity with the number of away wins that we've had, even in this first stanza alone. But again, a lot is not out there on the street for Nigerians to know that this is what you have done. What are you doing in terms of pushing this narrative and letting Nigeria understand that yes, there is a new sheriff in town. This is what we want to do, so that they can all buy into this. So those are the two questions I have for you.
Thank you, Yemi. Yes, for the first questions, we've actually looked at the legal implications of what we are doing with them. And in terms of the kind of policy somersault you are talking about, the good thing is that the government recently came out last year with the National Sports Industry Policy, focusing more on the business aspects of sports. So in terms of the relationship with the IMC is an interim body. But the arrangement we have with them goes beyond the IMC. What we have with them, which we have done, and we've ensured that we've carried all stakeholders in that sector along, the Ministry of Sports, the NFF, and all the other people that are supposed to be involved. So legally speaking, we've actually taken care of the legal aspect. Even if the IMC go today, don't see the IMC as an interim board of the company. The board will always change from time to time. But the substance of the company remains. And it is that substance of the company we are dealing with, not the interim arrangement.
Okay. And the other question?
Yes, the other questions in terms of publicity. Yeah, if you also recall, we've been doing quite a lot in terms of putting out this information to a lot of stakeholders and also informing the public. We also appreciate the fact that this is a novel project. This is a novel project, the Nigerian Football Fund, and especially with the arrangement of the NPFL. A lot of people still don't understand how this arrangement is working. And we've been trying to educate quite a lot of the stakeholders in the industry, with the clubs, the members of the NFF, members of the Ministry of Sports, also the press itself. We had a media party with the sports editors and the business editors a few weeks back, where we explained everything, the dynamics of how this whole thing is working. So many of them are also pushing out that information to the public. Let me say this. This is a very novel project, very unique in every aspect. But don't see the league as just a body of sports activity. Start seeing the league as a sports asset that has that ability to generate revenues like every other sports asset in the world. The FIFA is a sports asset, UEFA is a sports asset, the IOC today is a sports asset. The EPL is a sports asset. The NBA, the NFL, they are all sports assets. Even the WWC you see and the UFC, they are all sports assets. And what they've done in other places, which we have not done here, which we are now trying to do, is to ensure that we put in the right corporate governance structures for transparency, accountability, and efficiency to drive the whole process. In educating the public now, once the public understands this, And they now see the real benefit in the kind of investment vehicle we have created for them through the Nigerian Football Fund, which has never been done anywhere in this world. Because if you look at the other leagues, they don't have the outlet for the public to invest in the assets of those leagues. It's like a closed club. But what we have done in this case, for proper transparency and accountability, is to create that outlet through the Nigerian Football Fund for the average Nigerian, yourself, myself, and every Nigerian, individuals and institutions, to invest in this sports asset because it has a high potential to generate revenue. And once this asset is fully matured, one good thing about this asset is it only grows. It does not diminish in value. And two, it keeps growing and growing. So for investors that are going to invest in the Nigerian Football Fund, all they can see is their investments will keep growing and growing and growing. Imagine if you have invested in the EPL as a sports asset some 31 years ago when it was restructured, or you have invested in the Indian Premier League some 15 years ago when it was restructured. Imagine what that investment will look like today. That is the privilege and opportunity we are bringing to Nigerian investors now. So my call on every investor listening to this program now is to go and invest in the Nigerian Football Fund and let us grow our own sports property.
Okay, Nelson, let me ask you this. At least we are hearing sweet music now. But let me ask, how soon do you are you there, Nelson? Okay, I think
I'm listening to you. Go ahead, Ken.
How soon do you, maybe in the short run or in the long run, how soon do you see the Nigerian NPFL club being zero dependent on state funds?
Okay, if I want to be very, very modest, let's say in the next 4 or 5 years. In the next 4 or 5 years, I'll be honest, we might not even have more than 5 clubs in the Premier League that are owned by state governments. Because the kind of reforms and the kind of opportunities we are creating now to ensure people see this thing as pure business. The moment the investors understand what we are trying to do, there are investors outside this country who understand what we are trying to do. But the moment a lot of these investors understand and the competition starts, I can assure you, many of the state clubs, many of the state governments may not be able to cope with the kind of competition that is going to come in terms of remuneration for players, in terms of the kind of incentives, facilities, business people are going to be willing to give to these players, because now they know that once they invest, this is now pure business. It's not just a sports activity, but it is now business with profit motive in the whole system. You can see that you will see the real investors coming to take over, acquire these clubs. And for even some of the clubs that will not be acquired, I can tell you, some of them will go on relegation due to competition. We all saw it happen in the banking industries in the 90s, early 90s, up to 2000, when the reform started in the banking industry. Prior to that time, all the banks were owned by state government and federal government. But when they liberalized the sector and the investors saw that sector as being attractive and they started coming in, I mean, we all know what happened thereafter. How many of the state banks are standing today? That is definitely what is going to happen in this Premier League.
Okay,
maximum time, we will not even have a government club in the Premier League again.
Okay, what value is in there for the Nigerian fans that will attract them back, to come and take back their leg? I mean, to wake up in the morning, go with your family, that we are going to watch Bedell Insurance taking on Shooting Stars, and then you are not afraid of harassment, and then you also come out. Because you go to Europe to watch football, after the match, you have a place where you can sit down to take a drink, I mean, it's like a home away from you. You are in a different setting entirely, that all your needs are met, apart from, at the 90 minutes of action on the pitch. Match day, hospitality, another thing. What do you guys have for the Nigerian fan? Do you have any package that we can look up to with optimism?
Yes. We have, like I said, we started with the league. We're also going to be working with the clubs. And in working with the clubs, we are going to open their minds to see the possibilities that they can tap into to create a lot of value. in terms of publicity and engaging the fans. You see, one of the biggest problems of our sports in recent times is the football has not been on television. You see, the problem again is fans will always connect with what they can see. And you can only sell a product people can see. And people most times will buy what they can see. If you look at the EPL today, we are not in England, but what is the connection? Broadcast, media, television.
Television, yeah.
So we'll definitely bring all those elements into our football league to ensure that the fans week in, week out can see these players, see their performance, connect with them and start bonding with them. And once that starts, and we also ensure that in terms of securities and certain things, that they're making the stadia environment very, very conducive and attractive to welcome a lot of fans to come and watch football, that is also going to be in place. It's a process, like I said, and we've looked at all these elements and we're working on all of them to ensure that we achieve the overall goal of the objective of the project.
Okay, Jimmy, any question for him?
Okay, great job, Nelson. In the simplest terms, we would like to know what exactly the Nigerian fan can invest. What's the barest minimum that anybody that actually wants to invest in this fund will be putting in?
The barest minimum is 100,000 naira, but now I will tell you the fund has appreciated to 102 naira now. So instead of 100,000, which was the minimum before, is now 102,000 that you can invest for a minimum of 100 units. And I will advise that you invest quickly, because the way the sports property and the stock market works, people actually invest in speculation, expectations of earnings in the future, and the prospects in the future. Once we start signing those deals, TV rights deals, corporate sponsorship, and all the deals that will drive revenue, I can assure you the price will keep appreciating. So for the minimum now is 100,000 units, and it has appreciated from 1 naira to 102. So we are expecting a lot of Nigerians to invest minimum of 100,000 and in multiples of 100,000. All you need to do is go to the Nigerian Football Fund website, tnff.gti.com.ng, click on the website, fill the form, submit it online, and pay online. So you don't have to come to our office. But if you need further clarifications, you can give us a call on our telephone lines. All the contacts are there on the website. And you can also come to our office at number 4 Tinubu Street for further clarifications. And we'll take you through the whole process on how to invest. But I will definitely advise, and I'm saying it with all sense of responsibility. I know what I'm talking about. I'm also a chartered stockbroker by profession. I know how the stock market works. The moment everybody gets and to understand the direction, there is going to be very high demand for the shares, and the rate at which those prices will be going up will be quite amazing, because it's definitely going to happen.
Don't worry.
And I'm saying it with every sense of responsibility.
We know it's a Nigerian project. We know it's a Nigerian project, but you will pay us for this, that, you know, whatever it is. You'll be we've been investing our time talking the NPFL, in ages every week in, week out, spotlighting and stuff like that. So when the money start coming in, remember that Channel Sports, that we are there, and whatever it is, and we send the bills to you guys, and then we are with strategic partners.
What we have done is to create benefit for all stakeholders. I'm sure your organization is going to benefit from the big expectations we have on this project.
All right, Nelson, it's been a pleasure going through this with you. We hope we get back our league, we get back our football, and we hope that the average Nigerian, that football becomes a cash cow and not leaning on in the limp purses of the various state governments. Thank you, Nelson.
Thank you very much, Ken. Thank you very much, Yemi and Jimmy.
Thank you. We just hope the stories Nelson is telling us and the hope he's giving us will come to reality, gentlemen.
Absolutely. But
meanwhile, the lines are open. I think we can have the numbers on the screen so that you guys can be part of this show. We've not spoken to you in 2 weeks. So let's talk. Yes, let's hear from you.
So what Nelson has told us is very reassuring.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he's a chartered stockbroker. And I love the fact that they've tied it in legally. is not subject to any changing regime or the board. And like I said, the first stanza, if just paying indemnity and being responsible for the referees and giving the club money will give us this kind of result, I can imagine what we will get on the long run. So for me, I think it's a good place to start. And all I can tell Nelson is they should keep up the good work, and our Nigerians should support them.
I think the beauty of it for me really is the fact that they will be working with the clubs, because if they do work with the IMC or work with the league organizers, well, it'll be fine. But working with the clubs, make sure that there's that trickle-down effect right up to the fans to ensure they embrace all of the philosophy we are trying to bring in. We're trying to bring in entertainment. We're trying to bring in, look, let the fans come back in.
Value, bring that experience. Ken talked about match day experience, which is very, very important, because that's exactly why the fans will want to go there. They need to have something extra, something different, not just to watch the games. What exactly do you do before the game, during the halftime break? What do you do? Thereafter, what is the value they get?
Let's have Ahmed. Hello, Ahmed. Ahmed, how are you?
I'm fine, Ken.
Yeah.
Ken.
Go on. Ken.
Ken, how are you?
I'm fine. Ahmed, how are you?
Good.
Go on.
I'm a regular caller.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Ken, how are you?
We are fine, very fine, very fine.
First of all, thank my boy, Lionel Messi, for winning the World Footballer.
Don't worry.
It's wonderful.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's your goat now.
Thank you. Yes, it's concluded. Yes, Kel.
Wow.
I appreciate if government can hands off football, totally. If government can hands off football,
it has to be a gradual process. Maybe in the next 2-3 years.
Yes, I know the gradual process, but government should make an enabling environment.
Yeah, I totally agree. We agree, not I. Yeah. We totally agree with you.
Yes, I'm not saying an immediate total. Yeah, it's a gradual process. You know, whereby investors can have hope that if I invest X, Y, Z amount, I'm going to get a return for the time being. So government needs to monitor if truly private sector can also manage this football. So I said, Chairman, he has a lot of work to do. I'm not happy with our investors leaving. Phoenix left, and most of our investors are not renewing. Most of our sponsors, they are not renewing. So I don't think it's a good call for him to start with. So he needs to also look into that to see how he can win these sponsors back and even get more. Even the ones already on ground are not enough. So you should.
Well, Ahmed, I think from what Nelson told us, he said, look, you and I can also invest in the league. You understand? And that is where the money, that is the kind of money that will push the various state governments out. And probably if the clubs can earn on their own independently, self-sufficiency on the part of what these guys are doing. So, okay, at the end of the year, this is what comes to you. So I think basically that is what they are saying, that it is not a limited liability company that, you know, whatever it is like it is open, and then shareholders, you know, various shareholders can come in and buy into the Nigerian football project.
Well,
yeah.
Well, all I just want to see is Nigerian football grow back.
Exactly. Thank you, Ahmed.
Now, as in when I mean beating us in areas of development, yeah. I intend to go to Morocco one day because I love the interview you did about fires, about the development of football in Morocco.
In Morocco.
I think our listeners should also go there and go and get a case study. I think that's how we can learn. We don't even need to go to Germany. We don't even need to go to France. Even to go to Morocco. Have a case study. There's an African terrain.
Ahmed, you know the irony of this. 30 years back, Nelson was talking about EPL. 30 years back, even the NPFL, our league was bubbling. Our league was bubbling. There were four divisional leagues in Lagos alone. Lagos Division 1, Division 2, Badagry Division, Ekpe Division,
all the banks.
Football in Lagos. Not talking about the national. So, I mean, it is sometimes nostalgia drives you, I don't want to say drives you crazy, I'm sorry, but that is the thing. We don't need to go back to Morocco or go to anywhere. We should introspect Go back to where we were coming from. And I tell you, the Lekon Salamis of this world are those guys who fought and put shooting stars, Bendel Insurance, Flash Flamingos into place. The private investors were there. So a lot of those clubs were owned by companies. Companies. Leventis United, Mandela's Lions, Nigerian Airways, Ibua, ACB, Zema Bank. I mean, so Nigerian, so a lot of them are there. So it wasn't even individuals. You understand? Flash Flamingos, Iwanyangu National, Abiola Babes. I mean, they were tickling, and please, we do not need to go to
even as at 30
Morocco is good.
It's good.
We will go back to Nigeria.
Exactly.
If we need to get it done, we must go back to Nigeria.
Where did we miss it?
Where did we?
You know, all of this is we talk about winning league titles consecutively. You had, Leventis United 80-45-86. Abiola Babes.
Leventis United are doing what insurance. They came from the lower league and taught the big boys. John Master, they taught the big boys how to do it. The John Enoch, whatever it is.
You see, when you talk about mad day experience.
Always here. Our special caller is on the line. You have unveiled a new coach now, a new technical advisor, we're told, in Kabiru Dogo, and then you have moved from where you have been slaughtered in Lekon Salami.
United to do comedian. Not only me, one of your staff here, Okibaloni, is a Kwara United supporter.
Yeah.
So I know I will send that guy to you people there.
No problem.
That is it.
Yeah, you guys.
Let me just tell you. Thank God.
Don't mind Jimmy. He's a Stars supporter, and they are nowhere.
Thank you. The issue of Para United, we moved to Akure because the first match we played,
what happened?
We totally complained before the governor now hear their complaint now approved to them that okay. You can choose anywhere you want. I will support you. And by the grace of God, our governor is hearing somebody. So that's why they have put that Akure for them. Let's see what will happen in Akure too.
You guys
the Chelsea, by the grace of God, I don't want Chelsea to win that match. The last match here, because
you want to sign the coach. You want to sign the coach. Bad belly. So, that coach will be there for you guys for the next 10 years. He has signed a long-term contract. He signed a long-term contract. There is nothing you can do about it.
I already hear what the man said before in the with Chata and Asoda at that time. But one thing I want you to know is that I like the question he asked.
Okay.
The question he asked is that how big state government can handle, to the individual like Remo Star. You understand? Because, and secondly, the corruption is the problem. We have experts in this country. Let me just tell you the truth. Honestly, I like what they are doing. Even if I have money, I will. But the problem is corruption. That is what is killing us in this country. All these things they are saying is a good plan. And I believe if we can take patience, we will move like England. I'm telling you, we won't be like Man U,
no problem. You guys, first of all, God bless you. Because you guys are Kwara United. You have been moving from Abuja to Lekon Salami to Akure Tashi Stadium. Go and get your stadium fixed.
That's a challenge to the state government.
Yes. You guys can fix your stadium. And
but they are renovating
it. They are renovating it.
They are renovating it.
That means it's coming to be done.
Yes, exactly.
And then when clubs come to come and play in your stadium, let both the home team and the away team pass through the same gate. When they come, the home team will pass another side, and ask the away team to pass another side. What do you put for them?
At least there will not be any Olympics.
Okay, but we're talking about Justin Fontaine. I'm talking about Just Fontaine.
No, we have not.
Just Fontaine.
Great man.
Just Fontaine is a great one. He just passed on. But then that is the man. Watch this man very, very well. Because Lionel Messi has gone to the World Cup 5 times, and all the total goal he has scored is 13. The highest goal scorer in the history of the World Cup is Miroslav Klose with 16, followed by Ronaldo, not this Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo. Ronaldo de Lima.
There's no fake Ronaldo. They are both original in their own right.
Ronaldo de Lima has 15.
Exactly.
Okay, let's take Tony. Tony is listening from Ikeja. Hello, Tony. Tony, go on.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I appreciate your contribution. There is one thing for who are talented. There's another thing for their managers. The revenue source is what really makes adequate contribution to their livelihood. Plain a service. Whether you're a footballer, whether you're a tennis star or whatever, you are selling a service of sport entertainment. And that is what the advanced countries are doing. Yes, government regulates, it's fine. But how well are clubs fight and the managers organize the clubs? How well are they able? You see, it's not just sponsors. The fans too must invest.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There has to be something that makes our sport romantically attractive to fans who has to invest their money in merchandise, in donation, in sponsorship of individual sportsmen and women. It's not happening here in Nigeria. These are the areas that we need to look at. What I all made, like you mentioned, sir, there are so many divisions. You mentioned, I don't even know there are divisions. Thank you very much for that. I know there are so many of them, but how do they survive? They have families, they have children. They need to be able to earn sufficiently, dependable wages. These are not happening. Look at how much internationals are earning. And we have the same population in Nigeria. When it comes to market population, we have it. But are this market population really attracted and enthused to invest their money in club sides in Nigeria? No, it's not. Money is not going to come from just sponsors. Money has to come from fans as well, from sales of merchandise. Why can't somebody be buying stationery stores, towel,
we have a stuff fans. We have a stuff here,
and the likes of them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you very much. We just have to go because the time. Someday we'll have 3 hours to talk China Sport on Sunday, and then there won't be any. Jimmy, we are going.
I love what he just said. He mentioned stationary stores, and that's exactly stationary stores. Supporters trust.
Yeah, that's the trust, yes.
The trust exactly is what I think that, the football fund should also embrace along the line for the clubs. It will bode well for Nigeria football.
All right, Jimmy.
I like what I'm hearing. Music to the ears, implementation we really need to get it right with the implementation. Once they get it right with the league, I love the fact that they are bringing it down to the clubs and it took it down to the fans, and we'll all be good.
Go and invest in the league. Nelson just told us. He said, no well-run league in the world runs at a loss. And cannot go. Have a blessed Sunday.